Anwar Ibrahim, welcome to the program. Good to talk to you again.
Thank you.
You have demanded that the election authorities investigate a whole array of irregularities that you claim occurred during this election. In reality, though, that's not going to happen to your satisfaction, is it?
At least on record, we state our position and demand an explanation, which will not be given anyway. They went ahead and announced the results, and even the manner the results were announced are also suspect. But the irregularities are quite largely known to Malaysians. The fraudulent process, the electoral roll, presence of foreigners, particularly Bangladeshis and people from Myanmar as voters, the indelible ink, which is not indelible at all, and this list goes on and on. And because of this, because I knew by 5, 6 o'clock we have won the elections. And at that time, by 7, I had tweeted the fact that I suspect when they started moving into the system, boxes and boxes, say, look, we have to be wary of the fact, the complicity of EC and the ruling party in this crime to rob us from our legitimate victory.
I wonder if I could ask you this. You are blaming the election result on fraud, but isn't it also a fact that your failure to come up with a strategy to win over poorer rural Malays in smaller electorates effectively enabled the government to win?
Not true, because we won in some very rural constituencies. I mean, Kelantan is predominantly Malay Muslim, 95%, and they won 2/3 majority in the state legislative assembly. Terengganu, which is a bastion of again rural poor Malays, the Islamic Party performed reasonably well from 1 to 4 parliamentary seats and almost defeat the state ruling party, the UMNO party there. And most of our seats that we won, including in Kedah, some places are rural. Yes, we do, and we do accept the fact that we had some problems because of the limitation of internet penetration. We don't have access to the media, and they talk about free and fair media, and I've repeatedly said that even until the last day, I did not have 1 minute of airtime as opposition leader when they continued to demonize and in a vicious character attack against us.
Given the shortcomings that you think this election displayed, is it time for the people of Malaysia who demonstrated so enthusiastically recently for freedom of speech, for free and fair elections, to mount mass protest again? And are you prepared to lead it and take the consequences?
Well, I've gone through a lot. I'm not particularly keen to pursue that, but I leave it to the Malaysian public. People are just enraged. You can't imagine the extent of anger. I mean, the fact that now, just from last night, this morning, hundreds and thousands are saying, look, wear black, okay, and compelling me to do likewise. They have initiated some programs. I think we also, thus far, discouraged them from going to the streets as an option.
Do you fear that there could be violence given the depth of feeling that there is about this result?
That is why I've cautioned them, tried to cool off matters for a while, say that we will continue to protest. We don't accept these elections, which is clearly fraudulent, but we will advise them probably to then have assemblies in contained areas or public fields or stadium instead of just resorting to the street.
Najib Razak blamed the election result on what he termed a Chinese tsunami and called for a process of national reconciliation. He is certainly right, is he not, that the nation is more polarised now after this election than it has been for many, many years?
Polarisation only within the ruling establishment. That's their problem because of their racist slurs, because of the lack of courage to deal with real substantive issues affecting all ethnic communities. We don't have that problem in the opposition. You see, all our gatherings are, multi-ethnic, multi-religious in nature, and our agenda is quite clear on those lines. So I think I would certainly comment in the positive the fact that Najib made reference to reconciliation, but you can't use the same tone insinuating the Chinese were wrong because the so-called Chinese tsunami in support of the opposition. You should ask, why did the Chinese opt for the opposition? What are their grievances? And secondly, I do not accept the fact that it is a Chinese tsunami because it is actually a Malaysian tsunami.
The big winner on your side of politics was the n.d.a.a. They now are the biggest party within the opposition in terms of parliamentary representation. Does that mean, do you think, that they deserve one of their number to lead the opposition for the next 5 years?
Yeah. In fact, there was always the understanding, although I was initially asked to lead the opposition. That was when we were in the majority. At one stage, when there were some defections from our party to the ruling party, our position was reduced. At that time, I did offer the DAP leaders to take up the mantle. Both the DAP and the Islamic Party asked me to continue. This morning I did likewise. I said, it's not the problem because I can chair the coalition meetings and take the lead, but a leader of opposition has a specific role, and I've suggested, but they have asked me to continue. I have not accepted. I think we are still negotiating.
So it is up to them, and you would like to hand over the reins to someone else. Is there someone you have in mind?
Yes, at least the leader of the Democratic Action Party in Parliament. So he should be rightfully the...
And what does he say about that prospect?
Well, he has said that it's not necessarily. It's what we in the coalition have as a consensus. As you are leading the coalition, why don't you lead us in Parliament? But I think we can always separate the two positions.
So you may accept that appeal, you may continue on?
For now, it's unlikely.
Unlikely?
Yeah, because I think I can still continue as chairing and leading the coalition of opposition. I don't necessarily need to be leader of opposition in the House. It comes with some certain specific tasks, duty and responsibilities.
So you're going to be Malaysia's opposition Lee Kuan Yew?
No, I'm not at that stage.
And what of your own longer-term future? You've got closer at every election, but you're still not quite there. You've been in politics a very long time. Do you plan to be around to contest the next election?
I have announced earlier, and I was joking recently with some of the other press, I'm not Nixon with his irrevocable decision. I made it clear that I would want to go back to teaching. For now in the States, I may opt for Australia for a change. It's closer probably. But I'm not giving up my role to advise or participate in the political process. But certainly I've been in the back seat, allowing the younger leaders to take the helm of leadership. But here, for now, I want to make sure, because for now, that question is quite irrelevant, because we won the elections.
And Ibrahim, you've been very generous with your time. I know you must be tired. Thank you very much indeed.